We are VaporWare Incorporated, a team that consists of 5 official members: Sam, Eric, Preston, Gary, and Rob. The following presentation will detail our process of creating a smartphone application for diabetics that continuously monitors glucose through a patch and alerts the users with Bluetooth when it gets higher or below the acceptable amount. The problem we are addressing relates to finding a more discreet and convenient way to allow diabetics to monitor their current glucose levels. We wanted to create an application that can be utilized on a smartphone in order to eliminate an external device that is common with many popularly used continuous glucose monitoring systems. Our solution includes a mixture of hardware and software that would utilize a thin sensor contained in a Band-Aid-like patch that would communicate with a smartphone application via Bluetooth to allow the application to display an accurate glucose reading to the user. For the project, however, we placed an emphasis on the development of the smartphone application. We conducted semi-structured interviews with a few diabetic friends and relatives to gain a better understanding of how they currently monitor their glucose levels and what would make the process more convenient to them. The consensus was that they were tired of using external devices to have to scan sensors that were placed on the skin, usually in hard-to-reach places or prick their fingers. They wanted something low maintenance that they could pull up on their smartphone and monitor, but also something that would allow them to track their blood sugar over time. They also wanted something that would alert them in more convenient ways rather than just having to find out at the time of the scan or prick. Lastly, it was important to a few of the individuals for the app to have the capability to alert loved ones if their blood sugar is too high or too low, in the case that alternative actions need to be taken. Our application was designed in a way that it would be focused on monitoring a condition, rather than performing any specific function. The intention is that the user would pull up the app when they wanted to see what their current blood sugar was at, or when they received a notification that their blood sugar was not within the predetermined range they input at the onset of the setup process. This monitoring could include graphs of the blood sugar readings throughout a specified period of time, arrows that indicate where the blood sugar seems to be trending, e.g., is the blood sugar increasing or decreasing, or numbers that clearly indicate what the reading is at. The arrangement of those elements are considered throughout 3 different layouts for the application that can be accessed throughout the menu. Each layout caters to a different user type with our target audience. Layout 1, the default layout of the application, is designed to mirror how other diabetes monitoring apps look like, in order to provide ease of users that are transitioning over from other companies' products. It provides a comprehensive layout that provides a graph that can be configured to see trends of blood sugar over multiple different lengths of time, the trend arrow, and the current blood sugar level, so that the user doesn't have to swipe through multiple screens to get through information. Layout 2 allows the user to see the information in the most intuitive way, with one screen showing the current blood sugar and a graph that the user can interact with, while Layout 3 gives the core information to the user that they would need at the current time. Implementation was done with Android Studio. Android Studio is the official integrated development environment for Google's Android operating system, built on JetBrains' IntelliJ IDEA software, and is designed specifically for Android development. We chose Android Studio because the majority of the group took mobile software development, or were taking the course over the semester. The layouts were implemented using XML, while anything related to the backend of the app was done in Java. For your viewing pleasure, a demo of the app can be found at www.tinyurl.com/vaporware app. The next slide, from left to right, shows the implementation of layouts 1, 2, and 3 respectively. To gather data, we use 2 major methods: a cognitive walkthrough and a retrospective testing interview process. Half of our subjects were filmed while they explored the app, then instructed to walk through and explain to the interviewer their thought process, so he could better understand their choices. The other half were given a comprehensive questionnaire to fill out post-app exploration, to give additional insight on specifically the design and function of the app, rather than just their thoughts on the device. We made sure to gather a wide variety of subjects to better encapsulate the target demographics of our product, which were grouped by age and not race and sex. This allowed us to get drastically more varied opinions on the device from people across all walks of life, including a diabetic and former CGM salesman, who gave us very useful feedback by comparing it to other devices he had sold and seen. We also handled a predictive evaluation to determine the average times for each of the tasks required to be done. We had 3 heuristic experts explore the app as well and took notes on what should be changed, what worked well, and gave suggestions on how to make the app a more smooth and pleasant experience to use. The results? We found that all the users felt that the app was very clear and concise in terms of usability. Several features were suggested, however, including being more open about specific time between checks interval to alleviate concerns with the device's efficacy and frequency of activation. Other common requests were for the layouts to be more interactive, and on our roadmap we plan on adding additional functionalities to the layouts to meet consumer demand. Should we have more time for this project, we wish we could have made the app more functional, with more accessibility functions and a working set of color blindness switches, where the palette of the app would change depending on the option selected. We would have also liked to improve the functionality of the app, offering multiple menus and streamlining certain processes with regards to navigation. While those we interviewed never mentioned disliking the hamburger menu, we did notice that the layout should be labeled in a more intuitive way, so that users could directly choose the layout they desired from the description. We would also like to make the graphs of the user's blood sugar more interactive, allowing them to provide input and images to explain to the user the trends present on the graph. One of the challenges we faced as a group was the divvying up of work. It was challenging to ensure that we each were given a fair amount of work to complete. Another was the app itself, which was constructed in Android Studio, on the assumption a thorough demo would be necessary. As a result, demoing the app was limited to powerful laptop computers and the 2 group members with Android phones, due to the limitations of Java on computers with low RAM. A third and final problem we faced was explaining the concepts in a concise and clear manner to non-diabetics, who had no need to examine their blood sugar levels due to their pancreases managing this on its own. Explaining the purpose on the app in easy-to-use terms led us to make our app as explanatory as possible in design and ease of use. Overall, the time spent at VaporWare was an enjoyable experience that challenged our mindsets and fostered skills of self-efficacy, time management, communication skills, and flexibility. We utilize in-person meetups to determine and delegate the actions of the team and break down the team's big project during each phase. The team asks each member on inputs for important decisions and communicated as frequently as possible through GroupMe and email communication. Our primary takeaway was becoming flexible in group situations. While each individual was assigned a role and responsibility in the duration of each milestone, we learned that as soon as the process was broken, it was better to change things up to best suit the skill set of each individual. Over the course of the semester, we recorded video sessions of ourselves as we worked on the project. The links shown, from the bottom up, contain footage of the project evolving over time, as well as the evolving mindset of the group as a whole. Most video sessions were filmed with Sam's phone, while the last 2 were filmed with Gary's laptop. Screencast was used to film the following presentation, while Google Slides were used to prepare the presentation. Narration was done by Gary Berger, while the script was written by Sam, Rob, Eric, and Preston. Me personally, I'd like to give special thanks to Sam, Rob, Eric, and Preston for their hard work and diligence over the course of the semester. As a group, however, we'd like to thank Derby for being our rock and being there for whenever we needed him, and to our family and friends for their continuous support and who made the project possible. Thank you and happy holidays.